Good morning, everyone. This is your reading for Wednesday, March 26th, 2025, of course. I'm going to do the tarot first and then the astrology. So hang in there with me. Or if you don't like astrology, then this will be a short read for you. So as always, my question is to have three cards, and my intention is to have three cards line up to show us how we can best use the energy of today. What do you guys most need to know for today? Guys and gals, I should say. What do we all need to know for today? Wednesday, March 26th. Right there. Okay. We have Three of Wands. Now, this is good because the sun is in Aries at this time. We also have the Hanged Man, which is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune will be moving into Aries on the 30th. Wow, and we have the Ten of Cups. Oh, awesome. Awesome possum. Okay, so with the Hanged Man being the theme for the day, it's about surrendering to looking at things a different way. Just letting your mind open. I love the artwork here. She has the runes. These ancient symbols of a bit of a handbook to life. And I also love that she's hanging from silks rather than hanging by one foot. But she does have her hand on one foot, so that's pretty cool. But this is a whole different perspective of rather than looking at like martyrdom. But then again, too, I do love with the Rider-Waite-Smith. Sometimes when I see this card, I think of, like your hands on your hips, especially if it comes through reverse. Like your hands on your hips and going, no, I don't want to look another way. I want to look at what I'm looking at. So that card can crack me up. But anyway, with Chrisanne's artwork, we definitely have that perspective of, we still, with both decks, we have all the light coming out of the third eye, the head, the crown. And that is the admonition there, or the guidance to remind us that if we go to the higher realms and intend to see something new that we previously may have missed or forgotten, then we'll get something. We'll get what we want. And it's coming directly from source energy. That's what what Neptune is all about on the highest levels. I didn't allow for reversals. So if there's any trouble today, it would be around maybe kind of being deceived, somebody not being clear. When we get the Hanged Man reversed, where it can be a lack of decision, but maybe because you just don't have all the information that you need. It can also be about delays or something that's just gone upside down. That could be read either way. I'll never forget one time having I had this trip. I was away from home, but a long ways away from home, and I couldn't get back there very soon. And I had my alarm trip, and the alarm company calling me, and blah blah blah. And I usually keep a deck of cards, in my purse, no matter what size it is, and they wanted to know, like, well, do we send the cops? What do we do? And I'm like, what isn't? It's kind of your job, isn't it? If there's somebody breaking in my house, yeah, please, thank you. But anyway, while I was pulled over, sitting there waiting to hear back from them, I threw some cards, and I got the Hanged Man. And you know what happened? One of the sensors from one of the windows had fallen down, right? And had lost contact. So there you go. literally, sometimes it can be that something falls from a shelf, it's too close to the edge, or loses contact with its source. Okay, so just remember that. Neptune ruling the hangman. If we have any trouble, it's because we have lost our connection with source energy. And sometimes to get that connection back, we have to put ourselves in the upright position. Sometimes we have to look at things from all different angles to figure out what's going on. It can be a form of troubleshooting. And yeah, and that's especially true nowadays with the South Node in Virgo. We're getting all these like details and facts, and we're trying to make sense out of things with Neptune and Pisces opposing and connected to the North Node in Pisces. Pisces being ruled by Neptune as the modern ruler. It used to be Jupiter, but yeah, we discovered another planet. So anyway, that's the theme for the whole day. Now, it's in relationship to these other two cards. First thing in the morning with the Three of Wands, we may have to wait for that perfect wave, if we go by the artwork in Chris Ann's deck. We also may be looking at, just planning out the future in a way that we know we'll have some type of progress. We're hoping for the progress. We've done that already in the second with the Two of Wands, but when the Third of Wands comes in, then we've already kind of put it out there, but we're really looking for that even longer term, like major expansion. And so there's sometimes more preparation that goes into the progress, the stage of progress. Because by the time we get to the Four of Wands, something's come back home to us and we are celebrating. Now, the only way this card could give us trouble if it were reversed would be to be thinking in terms of just short-term gain. And so we don't have that lack of foresight. We have some delays. We have some obstacles come into those long-term plans. And that can happen anytime, but especially when we're going through Mercury retrograde, and now we have Venus retrograde too. So you just keep your eyes focused, keep your heart, your soul, your mind, all of you focused on the long-term future, and don't worry about it when things are delayed and held back, or you're having to wait for someone else, or. And then I feel like combined with the Ten of Cups, again, Mars in Pisces, Mars is about the movement outward, that we're always, the energy, Mars moves energy, and we're always, well, unless we're taking some time off and doing nothing, like in this card. Well, it's not really nothing because they're still watching the kids, right? And they're hanging out together and having fun. But for most of the time, Mars is moving forward and activating something in an enthusiastic way because we're motivated to get something done. Now, sometimes it can be, maybe there can be some, conflicts going on a little bit. With the Ten of Cups, if it were to come through in the reverse position, then we're looking at unhappy families and dysfunctional families. It's like, who hasn't grown up in that? If you are fortunate enough to grow up in a home where your parents didn't drink and smoke, or drink or smoke, and, but us older people, most of our parents and grandparents, because they didn't know any better. I was so grateful when my dad quit smoking. He quit smoking overnight because he wanted to scuba dive. Well, he tried scuba diving. It didn't work out too well until he quit smoking. So anyway, with Mars in Pisces, there's the energy going out to include everything in life and to bring through, with the Ten of Cups, we're in that place where we've gone to the bliss point. And that's the way I mostly like to look at the Ten of Cups. The Nine of Cups, there's fulfillment, but the Ten of Cups, there's so much bliss. Okay, so let's look at the astrology for the day. That is right here. So we have the moon at 5 a.m. at 25 degrees of Aquarius. So Aquarius, of course, is, well, and at 25 degrees, we are deepening that process and blooming areas in our life, which, that would definitely go with that 10 of Cups, right? That's definitely blooming and blossoming and having fun, and everything's out there. But in Aquarius, it's all about freedom. It can be a little rebellious. If that's the case, then, like attracts like, and we're going to get that energy back. There might be a little bit of healthy rebellion as long as it's, not excluding others, because with Aquarius, we are in that area of detaching, and we have to be careful of detaching from the heart. And but it's also, in the high levels, it's about, loving freedom and friends and groups and, being very, very friendly. And it's our humanitarian sign. So that, with the moon early in the morning, there is a square to Uranus, so it could be a little challenging to feel that connection with humanity. But if you always just go inside in your body and remember that we're all alike. We all have a heart that beats and blood flowing, and we're all human, hopefully. And then from there, it's easier to settle into the love place, to the love space in your heart, which is what is required to fully function well in the Aquarian energy. You have to open up to the Leo generous heart energy, right? Because Leo's the opposing sign. You always want to balance out the polarities. Now, by 12:30 p.m. Pacific, the moon will be in Pisces, and then all of the square will be gone, and things will shift and start moving into, then we'll have an even greater stellium going on there in Pisces. So the best way, I think, to use the energy in the morning is to do the best you can with networking and joining together with friends, or being more sociable, working with any type of technology, would anything online, anything that has to do with technology of any type. And it could also be about inventing something. And then when we are being a little more inventive, and maybe we're literally reinventing ourselves, but this could also be information leaks too, because we do have to remember that, when we're in the eclipses, I mean, the energy, it doesn't have to be on that day. We've seen politically what has leaked out overnight with Pete Hegseth and Michael Waltz and all of these guys that are getting grilled on, well, Pete's not up there yet, I don't think, but getting grilled on Capitol Hill. So with the leak over a Signal app, definitely the moon in Aquarius is all about that, because the moon rules the public. When it comes to leaks, online leaks, apps, that's Aquarian. So there we go. And ironic, well, no, it's more like you just got to love astrology. It has to do with security. And here we have Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, in the need for safety sign of Taurus, right? Are we secure? Apparently not. So, there's that. The facts came out. They came out to everyone. That's all that Piscean energy. Mercury retrograde, connecting with Venus. Venus wants to make comparison values. Mars, the planet of war, rules everything going on here in the Aries energy. So it's like connecting up Mars with Venus and Mercury and the Sun, right? It's just... So translating all that into something that makes sense for us personally, though, outside of politics, it really is a good time for thinking about what you really, really want in life and shoring up your defenses so that you can be as secure as possible. I've been talking about that, with Mars and Cancer there. And to as secure and safe and to have that stable foundation, the best that, or as much as you can possibly do that, then you can relax into all this wonderful Pisces energy that is very spiritual and very creative. It's really good. Pisces and Neptune are really good for the arts and entertainment and transcending the past, dissolving the problems of the past. But then on the dark side, it's linked to addictions and numbing out and dissolving the good things in your life that hold your safety and security together. So, we really do have to be careful, especially because the North Node is headed this way towards Saturn, and Saturn is headed this way towards the North Node. And by May of, I think it's May 24th, 2025, Saturn Neptune will be in, see how it's 29 degrees, 50 minutes? The next sign is 0 degrees of Aries, and that will happen on the 30th. Saturn on May 24th will make it over here, hooked up with Neptune, and that can be really, really cool for creating form and structure that is visionary. So any projects you have going on at this point you've been working on for a long time, it can be really, really nice. And then, Saturn will actually go through the retrogradation process, and then next January, early January, it'll dip back into Pisces for a little while, from January to February. So, so we're going to have a tight connection between Saturn and Neptune coming up that can be really, really good. So again, anything that you are motivated, because Mars is motivation, and in Aries it's all about new things. Any new projects you're motivated to go towards, really, let yourself go there. Let yourself go there, but also think about, having safety and security and trusting your feelings too. Mars in Cancer can really, really help with trusting your feelings, because it's your guidance system. You don't get your guidance just from your head. You can if you've done tons and tons of emotional process work and have cleared out, and then you'll just get these ideas. But then the follow-through only comes from that feeling, that passion to go towards whatever it is that you want. And that can definitely be coming in when Mars makes it to back to Leo, and we have that opposition to Pluto. It can be really powerful, a very powerful breakthrough for a lot of you. So, okay, well, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.